Hi lovely friends, here's a sneak peek of today's galaxy pour with spray painted planets. Thank you so much to Travelling Tramps and Simply the Net. You've been amazing members and I appreciate you so much. You're so very encouraging. So if you haven't checked out their channels yet, please do go and check them out. So today I'm so excited to be joining the tag team, and I was challenged to a mixed media piece. So I thought I'd go and do a planet pour today. So a galaxy pour, and then followed by drying it out and spray painting some planets on. So we're diving straight in today. I didn't press record for the very first part of it, which is a plain black base, and then you can see I've layered the pink first in a squiggle and then a blue, so I'm coming in straight away with that silver. So I'm sorry about that, because sometimes it's nice to see the whole process, and you know when you think you've pressed play, and I particularly when I've got my gloves on and I've got a bit of paint on my gloves. Do you ever get that? No one ever mentions that. How you actually press play, and whether you just leave it running for the whole thing. Okay, so I'm using my palette knife today, and I'm just intuitively layering the paints and playing with the colours. And I've got iridescent green blue, which is my favourite bluey colour. It just looks so iridescent and beautiful with the pink, and that pink is a Daily Rowney plain pink, so there's no iridescence in it or anything. But it comes out so nicely. It's funny how in this light it does look quite green, but towards the end you'll see just how blue it looks. So I'm wiping my palette knife each time I go in, and I'm just deciding how to swipe it. And I wanted to get a little pleated swipe in there today, especially for the tag team. I chose these colours as well because I know that August, Tonya and Kathy love their blues, and there's always a bit of pink in there. I wanted to get a little bit of a pleated swipe in there as well, because they are so good with their pleats. They love their pleats, especially August with his pleating. We all know August. If you haven't seen August's video from the Pleat Olympics, you have to go back and see it. I'll put that in my description for you. And if you've seen the pleating that Tonya and Kathy has done too, they're just amazing. Please check out their channels if you haven't already, and subscribe and give them some love today. So I'm using my palette knife really intuitively just to create some patterning, and what I'm thinking about is how it's going to turn out when I start spray painting. So sometimes I cover the whole of the base with different colours, and today I'm leaving a lot of black in because I want a real spacey feel and just a stream of blue and pink. You know when you get that nebula colour, that sort of stardust colour, it can be pink and blue, it can be gold, it can be red, it can be any colour. And I wanted to use silver today. Silver is a colour I haven't used for a long time on a black base. And towards the end there's a little pleat, can you see it? And you can see with the silver just how it turns into a bird later on, and the bird then flying towards the planet. It's not always obvious, you know, and I'm sure that everyone sees something in their paintings that other people don't, but towards the end it's almost like a little phoenix, or a little galaxy phoenix, or a little galaxy bird coming up. So I'm spinning it out now to spread out the paint and to make it more even. And the cells are appearing. Can you see the pink and the blue in some areas have turned slightly purple, and the blue is looking much more blue as we go along. Interesting. So I'm just playing around with the palette knife a bit more now. So I'm just adding some finishing touches now after that little pleat that I stuck in there, and I'm going to show you what it looked like when it was finished. A little bit of a close-up here. You can just see how the blue has just come out. Doesn't it look so iridescent? Look at those cells that have come. Really love those cells there. It's lovely how just playing around with the different viscosities and the different densities of paint, how especially with iridescence and metallic paints they form cells. just in places that you'd never expect them to. So I'm scraping the edge there and leaving it to dry, and you can just see how blue it looks now, and the purple has come through as well, and it looks more green there, and this is the iridescent green blue. So once it dried, I then picked up my spray paints, and I must just say at this point, don't forget to have plenty of ventilation, have a mask. I use gloves as well. I tend to cover my skin up because it does go everywhere. And before I start, I tend to have a look at the painting and think, right, where do the planets go? And where in the space would it feel like a planet would sit nicely? And also, do I want to keep the cells on the side? Do I want to keep the patterning on the side? So I'm just clearing out my nozzle here. I do clean it off when I leave it, but sometimes it drips down a bit. So I always test it, and it's really good to keep your spray cans vertical. If you start tilting it, you get all sorts of issues with splattering paints and that sort of thing. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just covering the very edges of it to give it that spacey feel, and they're almost like a dark hue. And then I'm using a wipe just to keep some of the brightness in the planet, because in space everything is quite splattered with stardust and nebula lighting, and so it's a different atmosphere I'm trying to create. It's a different feel I'm trying to create. And then I get this is my glossy pearl pink, and I just do some general stardust because there's pink on there already, so it gives a tiny bit of a pearly glossy feel to it, and that's the basis of the stardust. And what I do is I build up the layering, and then people say, well, you do a lot of wiping off. You can do this in so many different ways. I like to wipe it off because I like to keep some of it and then layer it and keep it and layer it. So I'm using my gold a little bit down the bottom, and the lovely thing is as well that gold's quite hard to get off, but most of the paints with Pabio are really easy to get off. So I've got my glasses as well when I do my spray painting, and I'm just wanting to cover one side of the shading with the black of the planet. When you use white and black to shade, it really does make a really visual impact, a really strong impact. And I like building up my shading on my planets. One thing I have learned is it really needs to cover up the rest of the painting if you don't want to be covered, because this is what happens. If not, it's fine, but you don't want this every time, because once you've got it just how you want it, that's the last thing you want, because you're going to have to wipe it all off and start again, or spray paint over it. Now I wasn't so careful about it, and it wasn't so bad, because that bit at the bottom I'm going to spray paint over, but I wanted to get rid of all the paint at the top, and just lightly pat it until it's the feel that I would like. And also because it's all black down the middle, I wanted to keep that black and white anyway. So and as I'm doing that, one of the things that I've learned through doing this time is I really like the planet how it was, and I've gone over it slightly at the end just to bring it up and make it slightly brighter. But it depends what look you're going for. So I tried a bit of gold at the bottom because I wanted light to be shooting through, particularly from one angle. Particularly, can you see where I'm doing the white on the left hand side? So I want the white coming down from the top, and I wanted more dark coming from underneath. So just enjoy this for a while I just play around with the painting, with my wipe and with my stencils. And I'll come back shortly to show you what happened towards the end. finishing touches now, where I just bring through the iridescence once more, and I end up doing a tiny bit of black at the bottom where the gold is, because that was a little bit too strong. And then I added another small planet, because I really thought it'd be nice to have another planet there, and I thought the two planets went really well together. So I hope you've enjoyed today's galaxy pour painting. This was how it looked initially, and then I added another planet, and then I varnished it. Thank you so much for being on this journey today, and I want to say thank you so much to August from August Acrylic Art, Tonya from Creations by Tonya, and Kathy from Grandma Kathy's Art Venture. I'm really excited to see what they've done with their mixed media pieces. They inspire me all the time, and they're such wonderful people and supportive friends. This is an amazing art community, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it. So I hope you're having a good day. I'd love to see what you're creating. Let's go across and see what the other ladies and gentlemen have created. And I've got their links for their videos in the description below. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. It does help, and it's free to do so. Thank you to my members and to all of my subscribers. Love you all lots. Have a lovely day. And I hope whatever you're doing, you're enjoying it. And don't forget, your art is a piece of you. Keep creating. See you soon, I hope. Bye.